Sergeant Shavat here, coming at you with another tank battle. This one is the ISU 122. The Russian Lieutenant VS Rat apparently took out 8 Tigers. And I want to recreate that. Okay, Lieutenant Rat had a zigzag pattern when he did his tanks, and his whole little platoon did the same pattern, and they were able to avoid all those incoming rounds from the German tanks, and he was able to knock out a few on the run. So he really made he made history here. Here we got the German tanks. And this one is, I have 2, I don't have enough Tigers, so I'm filling them in with King Tiger. And then across the way here, we got the Russians, Soviets. And supposedly they knocked out, the Germans were able to knock out a bunch of other tanks. And this is Lieutenant Rat's 122s up there. Again, I don't have 5 122s, so these are going to represent the 122. This is what they look like. They're pretty big tanks. They're heavies. And then, of course, I have the these other T-34s. These are actually T-43s, but I mean, they basically are the T-34, the newer upgrade. This all happened in 1944. And then here's that knocked out elephant tank. Lieutenant Visily also commanded an Su-85 assault gun before his regiment finally upgraded to the ISU 122 heavy self-propelled gun, which he got most of his medals with. His hardest battles were against the German Tiger heavy tanks in the Ukraine and also in Poland. To survive these deadly encounters, he developed a zigzag tactic and trained his troops to use it when facing German panzers. This tactic allowed him to advance while under fire, greatly increasing his platoon's chance for survival. Lieutenant Rat was credited with killing 8 Tiger tanks and 1 Panther tank. He received 4,000 rubles for killing those Tigers. He also got the Red Star. After 2 years in combat, Visily, or VS Rat, remained a lieutenant. He was more concerned with leading his tanks than getting promotions. Visily finished the war fighting in East Prussia, surviving to return home to Russia as a hero. So Vasily's tanks can do the zigzag. They can also shoot on the run without a penalty, unlike the German tanks. So I've recreated the game, and I'm actually going to see what happens. I'm going to roll a dice to see who goes first. And then I'll continue the movement and shooting. I'm going to have just the German tanks fire on these tanks first, because these are the ones that were knocked out. The Rat didn't lose any tanks. He basically didn't lose any of those. But in this game, I don't know. He could and he may not. So we got the Germans coming, and then Lieutenant Visily is going to come down too. So got these Tigers moved up, and they all shot at this KV-2, blew it up. And then these Panthers and the Tiger shot, missed. And then I had one of those Tigers shoot at these T-34s, and they missed also. T-34 shot, missed. Didn't really do a lot right now. So this next round, it's the Visily's gonna come on down off the hill and start doing a zigzag pattern, and they're gonna come all the way and see what they can do about these Tigers. Not one of them is bailed. So we got a couple of T-34 85s and they were able to, at least this guy in a tree and I think this guy behind, they didn't move, so they had both their shots. He was able to shoot twice. They knocked out that Panther. It was a lucky shot, I guess, or actually the Panther rolled a 1 and a 2, which is horrible because the front armor is only it's only a 10, and the 85 millimeter has a 12 power, so that's the 1 is horrible. We did have one of Visily's tanks, I believe it was this one, and the one to the far right. They were able to shoot on the run. One of them actually got a good hit on this Tiger here and blew it to smithereens. That little T-34 right there was able to surprisingly shoot over the walls and score this tank. He had to roll a 6, and he did, surprisingly. So he rolled a 6. The Tiger had a low armor, and then he had a low, he didn't even do the score, and I think it was a 2. So that's why the Tiger bailed out. So we're going to see if he bails back in. These Tigers are going to try to get a little closer. Some of them can shoot where they're at, so I don't have to move some of these. These guys definitely need to move up a little bit. There's a little wooded area. It's kind of in a way. So far, it's history is repeating itself so far. You got one Tiger and a Panther knocked out, and of course the Ferdinand is just sitting there. It's been smoking. Its tread is missing, and the crew's bailed out. So Visily is in the tan tank, and he shot at one of the Tigers. He missed. Surprisingly, I mean, an expert like him. These two on this side shot. They missed. All those tanks basically missed. But the T-34s, on the other hand, they're doing pretty good. This particular one back here, he actually bailed out. The Germans hit him and he bailed, but he bailed back in, and he was able to kill that tank right there. So good shooting. He needed 5, and it actually worked out. The other Tiger was killed by another T-34 right here in the trees. This guy also needed a 5 to kill, and he actually, or to hit, he needed a 5 to hit. Hit it. The Tiger rolled a 2, so that's definitely a bad roll. And I'm using front armor on the Tigers because I don't know, it's not really exactly on the side, although I could claim the gray tank was a side hit, so it wouldn't make a difference. He was killed anyways. This tank, I didn't shoot that tank. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to think what I'm gonna shoot at. Anyways, all these other tanks had shot during the Germans round, and they again, they just bailed that one T-34 out. And then there's the radio car. He's getting nervous. He's like, oh, this ain't looking good, guys. So right now, you know, history is looking pretty good. I mean, you got 3 Tigers knocked out and a Panther. And Visily still has all of his tanks, although only one of them actually hit a tank and destroyed it. The other 4 didn't do anything. Just been ricocheting, really. And then that tank's been knocked out by the Panther. I didn't shoot that. I forgot about that one. So I'll shoot it, and then I'll do the German turn. And I'm not going to move these tanks up too much. If they can get a good hit, I'm going to leave them. I might move one or two of these up. Those guys specifically needs to be moved up. Maybe up on a bridge, maybe get a good shot from there. Got these 2 Tigers moved up here. They both fired on the T-34 over there. They did a miss. They if I moved them up a little further, they would have been within 16 inches, but I didn't. Only one of them was really close. It was this one here, and because he's behind the wall, it needed a 6, and I couldn't get that. On the other hand, though, these 2 Tigers, or at least one Tiger and one Panther, they both shot, and the Tiger was actually able to hit one of Lieutenant Rat's tanks. It wasn't the Rat himself, but he's right there. It blew up. And then the Tigers on the bridge. The one shot the T-34 over here. He missed. And the other one actually shot the one of the ISU 22s. It was that one. He did hit it, but it ricocheted. There was no penetration. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the I'm going to do the Soviets' turn. Yeah, the tank on the bridge is gone. This guy shot, you know, one of the ISU 122s, but he didn't penetrate. The thing that got him was this tank back in the trees here. He was able to kill him. This guy also shot at him, missed. So we got some misses over here. All these tanks missed except this one, I believe. And he shot over here. Bam. His final roll was a 6. His was a 1 for armor save. You can see that's nothing. You got 9, that's 10. A Sherman M4 can knock that out. And then here's the final roll. All they needed was a 3 or a 3, and that's it. So that is another Tiger down. These two, the one T-34 shot at him missed. I also have this KV-1 that moved across the creek. He shot at the side, missed. So we're gonna see what happens this next round. I would like to kill this KV-1, but then that's gonna I don't know. I'm gonna think what's the best solution. And then up here I got a tank that's sitting on a bridge that can't go any further, and he's kind of a sitting duck, but he can also shoot. So I'm gonna fire his gun away, see if I can knock that T-34 out once and for all. I'm tired of looking at him, or one of these guys. Although that rock is in the way, so he's only really got one shot. And Visily's right here, and he did shoot, but he missed. Well, looking at that tank, he just blew up. That was this one right here, and he bailed out. The German shot him, and he bailed out. He wasn't able to go back in. But this this T-34 in the woods actually got a really good hit. He got 2 hits on front armor I used, and he also had cover. So I used the cover, so he had to get a 5 or more, and he actually got 2 5s. So 2 hits, 1 penetrated, 1 didn't. So the Tiger was knocked out. Visily, who was in this tank, shot twice because he didn't move, and he missed. And then this tank shot. He actually, no, that tank did not shoot. This one did shoot, and he was able to do a score on nobody. I think he was shooting at the Panther. Didn't do anything. The other tank in T-34 in behind the wall didn't do anything. This fella moved up. He tried to hit the Panther. Didn't do it. Anyways, German's turn. As you can see, I only have 2 Tigers and a Panther left. That's all I got left. I may only do 1 more turn. I'll see what happens. But, I mean, as you can see, the German tanks are falling. They're falling like flies. The Russian armor and their tanks are just too strong. The T-34s with the 85 millimeter is actually doing a great job at knocking out these Tigers. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the game. I can't see the Germans winning this scenario. Each the German and the Russian, or the Soviets, I should say, both had the same amount of armor. I mean, the 122 millimeter gun is pretty damn powerful. So we had the T-34 try to shoot the Tiger, missed, didn't do any damage. That tank couldn't shoot because he's got too many other tanks in front of him. The one crawled up on the rock. He made it up there, no problems. And these other tanks, the T-34, actually made the Panther bail. So they bailed out. Unfortunately, the other ISU shot once. They're allowed to shoot once, and he actually penetrated with that round, and he rolled a 3, so that's 13, and the ISU has a power of 15. So all he needed was a 2. He got the 2, so the tank was destroyed. So that Panther's out. So 2 Panthers. All that's left is basically 2 Tigers, and a little armored car if you count that. He's just calling in for help. And look at all these T-34s and other tanks that are out there. There's quite a bit, and there's no doubt that I'm attempting to make this T-34 cross through this little area right here, but he's bogged down right now. Still, it doesn't matter. It'll come through the woods and it'll attack this Tiger, who just shot this KV-1. He died. It just doesn't seem like a winning battle. These Tigers here would definitely fall victim to the onslaught of these big, huge ISU 122s. They're just too powerful. And I realized that this I-22 has a 152 on it. I'm just trying to make them all the same. They should all look like this one here. Or this one here. This one right here has got the 122 on it. So as you can see in the game, it's pretty realistic. I mean, the game's fun. You can recreate history like this. And, you know, I get a sense that, you know, this Lieutenant Rat actually could have knocked out the 8 Tigers and a Panther easily, and also the elephant tank. He didn't really destroy the elephant tank. He knocked the tread off, and then they bailed out, and they never came back. So it was interesting. I actually enjoyed setting up the game. I hope it was clear enough for everyone that's watching that this, you know, the Tigers were pretty bad tanks. They were heavy, they were slow, they were unreliable. And they're scary looking, especially if you were in a Sherman. But these Russians or Soviets, they were in a big heavy tank too, and they had a powerful gun, the 122, and that thing can go right through a Tiger's front. So you know, even a Panther has no, you know, that's only 10, and the ISU is a power of 15. That's pretty strong. Hope you enjoyed this show, and I'm going to have some more true life stories coming at you again.